If you're a regular viewer of my channel, you will know that I have been wearing Ultimate Ear molded earplugs for many years. So I thought I'd make a short video just to offer some long-term feedback on their use. 10 years ago, I switched from using foam or generic silicone plugs to a custom molded set, largely because I just couldn't get a decent fit with the standard offerings. I later found out that I've actually got very narrow ear canals, which was the source of my problems. So at that point, I found Ultimate Hearing Protection Systems online and I thought I'd give them a go, and I haven't looked back since. My entry point back then was a set of the standard squidgies, and these, to be honest, have been my go-to ever since. The standard squidgy plugs offer 30 decibels of noise protection, and they also offer a very comfortable and secure fit. I'm currently riding with a set of filtered squidgies. These offer the choice of attenuation, so you can go a little bit less than these if you feel the need. And if I'm using comms, then I'll use my wired Soundear Pros, but more on those later. Obviously, initially you have to have impressions taken of your ears, but once guys have got these, they keep those details on file, so any subsequent orders you can do online and they can make it up from those original molds. Made from medical grade silicone, the plugs have proved to be hard wearing, yet remain soft and comfortable. They do need a little bit of care along the way, but that is really simple because essentially all you need to do is keep them clean. Now, when you buy a set of plugs, you get a supply of antiseptic cleaning wipes and a small tube of ear comfort lotion or gel. And it goes without saying that obviously you need to keep the ear plugs as clean as possible. And if you keep them clean, you're going to mitigate any risks of ear infection. Give the plugs a wipe down with the cleaning wipes regularly, or you can use clean water, and then applying the gel makes fitting the plugs a breeze, but it also helps keep your ear canal healthy. You only need the tiniest amount on each plug, so this little tube lasts for ages. In the case of filtered plugs or Soundears, these obviously have a small port in there, so Ultimate supply a little tool to make sure that you can get any dirt or debris out of there, then you would clean them as you would do normally. But that's it, that's all you need to do to look after them and give you many years of use. It is recommended that you have your impressions retaken every 4 to 5 years because the shape of your ears can change. But if you're not getting any discomfort and you're not noticing any change in the level of protection, then you should be good. It seems that earplugs, although a simple thing, can be quite an emotive topic, and I do get a little bit of negativity in the comments. Not necessarily negativity, but a little bit of pushback about using these custom molded plugs, and largely that comes around cost. For example, the squidgies start at £80, and if you go for the filtered ones, that rises to £95. Now that is obviously more expensive than a big bag of foam ones or some of the silicone reusable molded ones. But for me, the level of performance and the comfort from these plugs, I think, is worth the extra spend. You've obviously got that longevity, you get a constant fit every time you use them. There's no adjusting to be done, you just slip them into your ear and that's it, you're done. And you don't even actually notice that you're wearing them once you've got them in and you're riding. I have occasionally had feedback from people who say they ordered them and didn't find them comfortable. And when I pushed them on where they sourced them, interestingly, nobody said that they got them from Ultimate Ear. Sadly, not all molded plugs are the same, and Ultimate Ear will always ensure that you've got a perfect fit so that they're not only comfortable, but they're also doing the job that they're designed to do. Now, I know people will say, well, they're a sponsor, so you're going to say nice things about them. I understand that. But that sponsorship actually came around after I had been using these products for a number of years. I was so impressed with them, and I made a video and put them on the channel. These guys picked up on that, and we've now been working together for 6 or 7 years. I'm happy to promote and spread the word because I know how good the product is. And it's a product I use every time I ride, and I've just had the best experience with them, and I just want to be able to share that with you guys and be completely honest about what it is that I'm doing. As I mentioned earlier, when I'm using comms, I tend to use the Soundear Pros. Now these are essentially the same construction as the squidgies and the filtered plugs, with a slight difference. So this end piece that goes into your ear canal is the same very soft silicone rubber. The main body, which sits outside in the concha part of your ear, is slightly denser and a slightly tougher material than the squidgies, and that's because it houses the speakers, and so it needs a little bit more protection. This means that you get exceptionally clear sound from your comms, but at very low volume levels. Now obviously if you've put foam or silicone plugs in, or even the custom molded plugs, and you're using comms, you generally will turn the volume up a little bit louder so that you can hear it more clearly. That kind of defeats the object of putting these in to protect your hearing. So with these, because the speaker is built in, you get very clear audio at the lowest levels. I can turn the comms unit right down to its lowest level, still hear it very clearly, but I'm obviously also getting the hearing protection from the plugs, and I can still hear that ambient noise around me. Now obviously if you're playing your music at full blast, it kind of negates that, but for longer journeys when I'm using comms, these are a really good solution. The drawback is, of course, that these are a more expensive option. Now, these are the Soundear Pros, which have got the double driver in there, so really good sound quality, but these will set you back £289. If you want to go for the standard Soundears, not the Pros, which have just got a single driver in, still sound good, just not quite the bass response that you would get from these, then you can pick those up for £189. They come as standard with a 3.5mm jack, so if you're using Cardo Bluetooth units, these will plug straight in instead of the headphones. And on some of the Senas, there's also an auxiliary input. So I've got a 50S and I can plug this into the mount on the side, and that just cuts off the speakers that are in the headphones. And I think you may be able to do that also on the new 60S. I should have one of those coming soon to be able to test out, but definitely on the Cardos, they all use a 3.5mm jack. So you basically unplug the headphones in your helmet, plug this in, put these on, and you're good to go. So if you want to connect to your bike or your phone or your Bluetooth wirelessly, then there is an option for that as well with the Bluetooth Soundears. Again, these are exactly the same as the previous ones, and these ones are actually clear, so you can see the driver and the mechanism that sits inside them. These just come with what is a Sony Bluetooth module, so that connects really quickly and easily. I've never had a problem with that. You've also got volume controls on here and your little charging port. There is also a microphone in this section, so if you do keep that up in your chin bar close to your mouth, you can receive and make telephone calls should you wish to. So to wrap up, all I can say is I've been using these for 10 years now. Obviously not these ones, I've had new ones in between that time, and I've never looked back. So if you want to try these out, I've got a couple of discount codes that might just sweeten the deal for you. If you use the code MANCAVE15, that will save you £15 on orders over £100. If you use MANCAVE50, that will save you £50 on orders over £250. These codes can be used online, but they can also be used in person. So if you're at a show and you see the Ultimate Ear stand, you can quote those codes and you'll get your discounts. Speaking of which, the guys will be at the ABR Festival again this year, so those codes can be used there, and you get the added benefit at that show that your impressions will be taken for free. I'm going to be at the show spending some time on the stand, so if you do visit it and you're interested to find out what it's all about, come and say hello. If this video has raised any questions, then let me know in the comment section down below and I'll come back to you with an answer as soon as I can. And all that is me to say is, until next time, thanks for watching, take care, ride safe, look after your hearing, and I'll see you soon. Bye!